Tommy.
How are you?
Palm Beach Tint, Tommy.
Yes, sir.
We all call you Tommy Tint.
Tommy Tint, yes.
Probably the biggest private tinting guy in Palm Beach.
Yes, I am.
If not in some of the state. I mean, you ranked
eighth
in the
world.
country.
World,
but obviously number one here.
Yep.
So how did you get into the tinting? Well,
all right.
What happened? So you started before we talked a little bit before you came on.
Yep.
You were before we get into that, because that's kind of later.
Okay.
You were a breakdancer for Madonna and the Beastie Boys.
Yes.
Now explain that. So you go from breakdancer to tint guy. So you got to break that down. How that went.
I came from New York. When I got to Florida, basically I was the only breakdancer down here, and I got together. I went to a breakdance competition in Miami. My sister was dating one of the singers from TKA. I think it was Stevie, which is Stevie B. So she was dating him at that time.
Stevie B, the singer?
The singer, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good singer.
80s, yeah. So it was. He told my sister he's going to Miami. He's doing a show there. They're having a big breaking competition. That if I, was interested, he put a good name in for me, and I go out there and do it. So I went out there with my sister, and I did a competition there. And out of a lot of guys, because it was like 40 guys at the time, I was only 13 years old at this time. I'm going to be 14. So she kind of snuck me in because I was a lot taller than the average 13-year-old. I mean, I didn't look like I was 13. I looked like I was 18.
Yeah.
So she got me into the club. I did the show. I placed, out of I think it was like 40 guys there, I came like 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of put me on a platform for a Jamaican crew that was there looking for another guy to add to their crew. Stepped to me, and the guy was real cool. His name was Henry. He came to me. He's like, hey, I have a breakdancing crew that I, literally make gigs for them. I find parties, I find gatherings, I get my percentage and I pay my guys for each show. And I'm like, well, what's what's it pay per show? And he's like, $150. So I was like, what? That's good. At the time, this is 1986, actually early 86, beginning of 86. And I was like, okay, cool. So in that time, $150 per show was good. I was hoping to get, 5 shows a week, but it didn't turn out that way. It turned out that, we got us the most was 3 shows a week. That was the most we would
And this
get.
is 1986.
1986.
Okay, so now how do you run in? So you do good in that competition. Now, how does Madonna find you? How do the Beastie Boys?
Yeah, he basically he makes all the Henry did all the appointments. He was the manager for the crew. All right, so he managed us. He got us the gigs. We really never got to sit down and have conversation. I mean, Madonna said hi to us. Hey, how you doing, guys? And that's it as she walked by.
Was she nice or stuck up?
She was stuck up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Madonna. Come on, honestly.
And right there at that time
she
period,
was the hottest thing in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us were like, we were all drooling. It's Madonna. Oh. One of the guys couldn't stop thinking about her all the way home.
How'd she look in person at that time?
She was beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She's still beautiful today, but man.
And she was with, who was she with at that time?
I don't think she was dating anyone. Madonna was just Madonna. She was by herself. This is 1986.
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper came out with Girls Just Wanna Have Fun.
Yeah.
So she was kind of competition.
Right.
So to say to Madonna, but it really wasn't. Everyone knew that.
Madonna
Beastie
had her
Boys,
own style.
Yeah. Beastie Boys were a couple of crazy white boys from Boston trying to make a name for themselves, in a rap game.
So she was
hard.
Stuck up and the whole nine.
Kind of, she just kind of walked by. Hey, hi, guys.
Yeah.
The Beastie Boys, that was different.
Okay, now, so you go from Madonna?
Yeah, we did a show for her.
How'd you get to the Beastie Boys?
Well, Henry set up shows. There used to be a place here in Boynton Beach, okay, on Federal Highway. If you took Gateway, at the time wasn't an exit, but if you take Gateway today all the way down to the end, okay, And when you get to the end, there's A1A, and right there on the southeast corner, there's a bunch of beautiful villas that were designed and created, and that used to be a nightclub restaurant called La Notte. That was owned by an Italian guy from New York, and he was the heavy hitter in the nightclub scene out here. You know, he backed up Frank at the Fun House, and he backed up a lot of clubs. But La Notte was his club. Everyone knew that was the club. Everyone, you know, his white Porsche was there. Everyone knew it was it. Anyhow, he was the guy that everyone at the time he would bring them in, and he would pay them big money. He got the Beastie Boys into Boynton. He got Madonna to do a show in Boynton. And who else? He got a couple of West Side
She went to
actors.
Boynton Beach at that time?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm surprised she even went.
Yeah.
Either of them, because they were huge.
Yeah,
you know,
they were
so
huge.
I'm surprised that either of them even went there. Wow.
Yeah, it was a real big club. He had only VIPs in his club, and these guys were, they would all fly in from New York on the weekends to come to the club, and then he had another club in South Fort Lauderdale. And he wanted to open a club in South Beach, but South Beach at the time was really bad. There was a lot of crime in South Beach. It wasn't like it was.
Was that like the coke epidemic right then?
Yeah.
Or that was over?
Was bad. It was bad. Yeah, 87, 88, 89. And he closed he closed up the La Notte. He sold it to a developer for quite a bit of money from what I heard. And that's, you know, how the beautiful townhouses were built there.
So now you have a daughter in 1989, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you have the daughter in 1989. You're breakdancing at the time, but at this time, it's taken up too much of your time because you have to travel. Are you traveling a lot?
Yep.
Okay, so you're traveling a lot, doing all this breakdance and shit.
Yeah.
Is there videos of that on anywhere?
I don't.
That'd be funny to see you do that.
There's videos in Madonna's archives, I believe. She may have some video because she had people that were videoing her. The Beastie Boys may have video in their archives of the shows that they did, because these were shows at the time. There was no internet. You know, there wasn't no you know, for the news to come in, they didn't publicity.
Now, when you're a breakdancer when you do a show with Madonna and you breakdance, what do you I remember this is what 86, 87?
1986. Exactly.
Okay, so what do you get for that show with Madonna?
The show for Madonna, we got $150 a piece, plus we got a bonus of $200 for the show.
So you would if you equivalent to maybe 1,000, you would get today. Yes. You would probably get 1,000.
Equivalent today about 1,300.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, per dancer though.
Per dancer, right?
Yeah, and there was a total of 12 of us.
Wow.
So there was a lot of us, and we all had 17 different routines. We had from breakdancing on the floor to popping. We did a real cool scene that was kind of like we would put when we breakdance, we would toss one guy out, and that one guy was Cisco, and when we tossed him out, he was small. He was a tiny 5'2" guy, but when we tossed him out, kind of like one guy had his arm, one guy had his leg, and there was 4 of us. We kind of tossed him out. When we would toss him out, he would fall into a windmill, and he would end the show every time that way.
Now, is this Cisco that turned into the singer Cisco, the black guy?
No, this is a different Cisco.
Okay.
Yeah, he's Brazilian. He was from Brazil. Okay. He's a big-time Brazilian dancer, and then fighting style.
And then when you went and you did the Beastie Boys, what did they pay?
The Beastie Boys show, we got $500 a dancer.
You got more dancer for the Beastie Boys than Madonna?
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
At the time, Beastie Boys, they were really generous with the people that did work for them.
Yeah.
So say, you know, they were, you know, with the Beastie Boys show, we got dinner, we got the whole 9 yards. But the cool part about them is we knew we were making $500, but we didn't know we were getting a picture of them.
Yeah.
They each gave us pictures. They didn't sign them at all. I still have my picture. You know, next time we do an interview, I'll bring the picture and we'll put it up on your screen. But you know, they each individual dancer, all 12 of us, got a picture of them together.
Yeah,
which was really, really cool. Which was they're all young in the city, and when you see the picture, you'll be like, wow, it's a really old picture. You can tell it is. But that was the bonus, really, for all of us.
Yeah.
Because we got a picture from them. Madonna didn't give us a picture. She didn't give us a time of day. We had to pay for our food at her show.
Yeah.
So everyone didn't understand how it worked with Madonna. Madonna was more about, she was the kind of artist that was about the bottom line for her, because she knew she wanted to make this a world of hers. It was, still to this day, people talk Madonna. She's the queen, dude.
Yeah.
I
mean, they're all copying off of her. Now they're all copying off of her in some way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
With the sexualness and everything else.
Set a platform, exactly.
Okay, so now you have the kid in 89.
87.
87. That's when, and her name's Amanda, right?
Amanda. She was born March of 87.
March of 87. Okay, so you have Amanda in March of 87. Mm-hmm. You're breakdancing, and you realize that it's just taking up too much of your time.
My wife was not happy with it. She was like, you can't live the nightlife and still do what you're doing. And being a 15-year-old father, and my wife at the time wasn't my wife. She was just my baby mama. She was 17. Yeah, I had to get out of the business. I had to basically find a 9-to-5, and that's when she grabbed the Palm Beach Post. And in the process, she found, in the classified, she found me a window cleaning job. It said window cleaning, no experience necessary, yada, yada, contact this number. And it was a Delray number. I called it. And when I called it, I got Ken Berkman, the owner of Elite Window Tint. And this was his store on Linton Boulevard.
In Delray.
In Delray, yeah.
So that was your store with the tinting was
Elite Window Tint.
Elite Window Tint.
And I got that job there in 1989. And that's when my window tinting career started.
Okay, so, and then how long are you working there?
I worked for Ken on and off until about like 97.
Okay.
Yeah, on and off, though. Like, I would do other side weird jobs. I was a tow truck driver at one point. I tore down. I was I demolished. I was basically a demolisher for an engineering company. They would call me in. Hey, Tommy, you got to go to this area. You got to go to this floor, and we need you to clear out all that. So
you were tinting and doing side jobs too.
I ventured out to become an entrepreneur in everything and anything that would pay me good. Okay. And I always came back to window tinting because that was my love. I love to tint.
And the other stuff after the breakdancing you did just to make ends meet as you're building.
Yeah, I wish I stayed in the engineering. Don't get me wrong. That would have took me in a different, category. But I'm really happy that I stayed with the window tinting.
Okay, so now you're with it's Elite Windows Tint.
Well, at this time.
And how many years are you there with them?
I was with Ken for almost over 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah, and then I opened my own little store, Dolphin Window Tint, in Lantana. That wasn't too successful because the prior owner didn't do too well there. And then I became a partner at Dr. Tinto's with Neil. And me and Neil were partners for a long time, and we had Dr. Tinto's on Okeechobee. Lexus had just opened up on Okeechobee. So we had all the dealers on Okeechobee. Ferrari wasn't there yet. Lamborghini, none of that was there. The big dealer was Brayman Motor Cars. They were there. Bentley was there. We had Bentley. We had all the Mercedes dealers at the time. We also had what at that time was considered the Jaguar spot, which is still Okeechobee and Dixie. That's where the Aston Martin, McLaren, and Jaguar is today.
Yeah.
That was the Jaguar dealer, Aston Martin dealer there, and Lotus. That was Lotus.
Lotus, yeah. Do they still make Lotus?
Yes, Lotus is still being made, but they're made in-house in their district.
Yeah, I remember my friend had one years ago, like 20 years ago.
They sell them for Fort Lauderdale.
Do they really? Lotus really?
Dealer
I haven't seen a Lotus in a long time.
Yeah, so that was our big gig because I picked that account was really, his wife picked that account up, and I was good at those cars. So they kind of picked me to become their lead tint guy and partner. So, my mistake there was trusting Neil with thousands of dollars that belonged to me, and when he got divorced, he disappeared with the money.
because he had to deal with the divorce. So basically,
Yeah,
he
you
robbed you
know,
blind. I mean, just
he
call
left
call
me.
a
Call
spade
it
a
what
spade.
it is.
Yeah.
He left me and my wife homeless.
Okay.
Yeah, he left us on the streets. I trusted 3 people like that in the window tint industry. That's why I ventured out to other industries, because
Yeah.
this is a very nasty industry. The only one that really always did treat me fairly and well was Keith Murray from Quality Window Tint, Ken Berkman from Elite Window Tint.
You work for Quality Window Tint?
Quality was real good. Keith was a real good guy. He closed that down now. Tropical Window Tint was a real cool lady. She took very good care of me. And there wasn't really that many tint stores. I helped Kurt Albert start Riptide Window Tinting, and that was kind of like me stabbing Ken in the back because it was in Delray, and a little falling out I did with Ken, and I apologize to him for that, but that didn't last. You have to be established in this industry and everyone know you and money backing you for you to really have a successful tint store in Florida.
Right. So then you go through all this, and then you venture into Palm Beach Tint, which is yours, and that's what I saw on the Atlantic, motor cars. But when they had it in there, they had you doing yachts, homes, and cars. They had all three, and the motor cars just had the cars.
Yeah.
They had your company.
Yes.
It's the #1 tint place, private tint place in Palm Beach.
Yep.
And then in the magazine, the Atlantic, or it's online too.
Yep.
On that one, they had, like one carpet, they had 4 or 5 yachts, and they had a bunch of houses that you did.
Yes. I have a few big homes.
So everybody knows about the, car tinting.
Cars, yeah.
But with the house, you tint what do you do? Tint all the windows in the house to avoid the sunlight.
I do.
Now,
I do that.
what I wanted to ask you before, when I was looking you up and reading about everything, if you put the tint on the windows at your house, do you still need blinds, or is that enough to block out everything?
That's enough to block out the heat reduction and the solar rays, but a lot of clients don't like just the tint. So they'll put up, shades, or they'll put up electric shades is a big thing now. That's an industry that's taken over the blinds and taken over verticals, taken over everything. And electric curtains, because you could just hit your curtains and the curtains shut, and they're electric. That's a huge thing. If you're on a budget and you don't want to spend that kind of money, then they'll go and they'll get the windows tinted and say, hey, my blinds are still up. So we'll have to come in and take their blinds down, put them back up. And that's a process. But a window tint for a house is not like a vehicle where you get the option to black your car out where no one can see in. A home, it's totally night and day. You're going to be able to see in the house at night when the lights are on. During the day, you're not going to see anything because it's daylight, the lights are on, you see a mirror. And I tell a lot of my clients this, but at night you have to have some kind of contour to back the tint. So you have to have blinds if you don't want someone to see in your house.
Yeah.
But once you put the blinds up and you put the window tint on, you save quite a bit on your heat reduction. And on your electric bill, you save about $1,200 to $1,500 a month, depending on the square footage of the home.
You mean a year?
A year. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Right.
Thank you very much for correcting
me.
That is a year. So if you have good example, you have a 35 square foot home and you tint the windows in your home on the west side or whatever side the sun hits the home most. It could be west, east, south, or north. In Florida, 80% of the time is the west side. So you're still going to save $3,500 a year in your electric bill just by tinting your windows. So it's a big thing in Florida.
So it's an investment.
It's an investment, just like your car. Same thing with your yacht.
And what is that? What's that average run? Just say, forget the blinds. Say you put back up the blinds that they had.
You can find window tinters that will.
I'm saying you, like a professional like you.
Okay.
Not some Joe Blow that goes and does it, and you got bubbles in it, and it looks like shit.
Yes.
And in 3 years you got to rip it off because it wasn't done right or it wasn't cut right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Very true. Very true.
And I haven't read one bad thing about. That's why I brought you in.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Tommy Tint, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Because I didn't read one bad thing.
Yeah. The situation with me is anywhere from $4 and up to $7. And if we have to get on a ladder,
What is that? A square foot?
A square foot. If we have to get on a ladder, you're looking at $12 a square foot easily.
Because you got to take that window out. You got to take it all the way out to tint it.
A lot of times, the way it works with homes, you could tint the windows before the windows are installed, or do it after. The best way to do it is to wait for the home to be built. After the home is built, then we come in and we tint the windows. On the inside, we don't have to take the windows out, to answer that question, by the way. But a lot of times, there's clients that they purchase their home and it has window tint already in it, because the developer or the contractor that made the home will call me in and say, hey, Tommy, let's tint the windows, and I'm going to sell the home already tinted.
Already tinted.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, that when I do that, that's between me and the contractor, and it can cost the contractor $12 a square foot very easily. Reason being is construction cleanup.
Yeah.
We have to make sure these windows are stupid clean before we actually apply it, and before the new owner takes purchase of the home. That's really where I do a lot of homes like that. And if I don't get a call like that, I'll get a call from a home in Palm Beach, which they don't even care or ask me any questions about square footage.
They just say, do it.
Yeah. Or they have to pick a shade. So there's hundreds of different shades out there to pick out of. And the biggest thing is, what Suntech will sell you tint for your home, but there's several different lines that they have. You can get, Suntech DS line, or you can get an Infinity line, or you can get the Quantum line, which is, a very good line as well. And, Ultravision is their number one seller, and it's their number one tint, but it's not dark. The darkest is 50%, but it holds out a massive amount of heat. And that's for a lot of clients that get their homes tinted. They live on a lake, live on the ocean, the intercoastal. They live in an area where they don't want to lose the visibility.
Yeah.
At all. The Inspirana building, the windows in that building were installed by a contractor that knew, by getting the glass reflective, the clients can just pick whatever shade that they want, and it won't affect the outside of the look of the building.
So you're doing cars, yachts, which you got to be making a shit ton on the yachts. What do you make? What do you charge on the yacht?
I haven't done a yacht in a year, but yeah, they do.
Well, this
quite
Corona
a bit.
thing. How bad did this Corona thing hit you?
Oh,
it got you pretty good, huh?
We're very close to chapter 11, but it is what it is.
That's insane, because I mean,
it's,
you were, before this a year ago, I mean, you were killing it, but you can't do anything.
I'm private, yeah, but there's
so now if somebody's out there, because a lot of kids are tinting and they like to do it, and they're pretty good.
Yeah.
And it sucks to go work for somebody because they pay you shit. How did you get so big? Just quality?
Quality control.
That's what it's about.
That's the God's honest truth. I love what I do, and it's quality control and luck. A little bit of luck in there. Because if you do the right job for the right guy in Florida, and he knows 150 guys that have Lamborghini or have a P1 or have a Bentley, that's how the trickle effect started with me.
Because it's word of name. So he's going to tell Fred, he's going to tell Sal, he's going to tell Jim.
Tommy. So there's a very handful of Tommies in this industry. So now that's why I kicked the name out, Tommy Tint. Palm Beach Tommy Tint. Tommy Tint from Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of Tommies in this industry, and like, is this the Tommy that I done? Yes, it is. Oh, okay. Everyone knows me as Tommy Tint from Palm Beach because of that one reason. There was a Tommy Tint that worked right here. Oh, his name was Tommy, and I was the manager. This is an example I'm going to share with you. I was the manager for Elite Window Tint, Ken Berkman, and this is in the 90s. And when I left, he literally tried to put guys in there. He had to put a guy in there named Tommy because no one wanted to deal with anyone but Tommy.
But Tommy
in
Tint.
Delray.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he stayed in that store until he passed away. Unfortunately, God bless his soul, Tommy passed away last year sometime before the coronavirus kicked in. This was December of 2019, Tommy passed away. Okay. The minute Tommy passed away, that's when Ken said, you know what, I'm selling the store. I don't want to deal with this headache anymore. So he sold the store. Good example. I was the first one to get dibs on it, and I'm always checking in on the store to see if it's up for sale again, because I could buy the store and make it a success right away. Well, the guy that bought it, his name is Timmy. So, because his name is Timmy,
Yeah.
Timmy's success is booming.
Yeah.
I mean, Ken's not there no more. Timmy bought it. His son's in there, and now they hired a couple of trainees that I trained to clean windows. And they called me, hey, Tommy, you know any trainees? Oh, yeah, there's one over here at Auto Crafters, working for Dan. And they're, oh, well, is he happy? I'm like, no, here's his number. Dan wanted to get rid of him, but Dan felt bad because it's the coronavirus, and he didn't. So Dan kept him on 25 hours a week just to keep him on.
Yeah.
So when I got him the job, Dan was like, oh, thank God you helped me out on that one. Because, now the kid's making good money.
Yeah.
He's doing well. And Dan owns Auto Crafters, and he is the elite body shop in Riviera Beach, in Palm Beach County, period.
Yeah.
Just to throw it out there. He calls me up a lot to do a lot of vehicles for him. The Forgiati vehicle that, I have a picture. You have a picture of me taking the gold Corvette.
Yeah.
That's a Forgiati.
That's
for
one.
Forgiati. He does their vehicles, okay?
That's that one there?
Yep, up on the TV. And he does all their vehicles, and he's getting me in there to do their vehicles as well, so we can have a little promotion with Forgiati. And when their shows and their cars go out there, it'll say window tinting done by Palm Beach Tint.
I saw you just did a green Aventador. Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll throw that out there.
That was a private client. That Aventador was absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
We did it here in Palm Beach County, but it went to Syracuse. No, I'm wrong. Sarasota, Florida.
Yeah.
That's where she went to.
Well,
He's a corporate executive.
that's how big you are. I mean, you got people shipping in their cars.
Yes.
You know what I mean? For you to do it because of the quality.
And
so for a kid out there doing it, it's about quality because you get one good job, and then he goes and tells another person, and then that's how you do it.
Even if you
and
have
you got
to
take your
8
time,
hours.
right? And in the beginning.
In the beginning,
you gotta go ramen noodles, and you go cheap to get the job where they almost can't say no, and then they say, "Oh my God, look at this quality I got for $300. Maybe you made $50 on the job, but that's how you go about building it." And I think that's where people screw up. Yeah. I think they go and they overestimate their value, and they're just not at that point yet.
Exactly.
I mean, I had to deal with it with an engine when I had an engineering company. I mean, it was the same thing. Yeah. At first they were this price. Then things started banging, and then now all of a sudden that same job is this much because they feel entitled to whatever. But they didn't build the company.
They feel entitled.
Entitlement's the issue.
Yeah,
that's a big issue. That's always
in business.
Yeah,
that's true.
And it comes no matter what. When you have
that's true.
Employees around you. Now, if you have a partner, 60-40, 50-50, 65-35, that usually is okay. Yeah. But if you sub things out, that's where the issue is when you sub things out.
That's a big issue now.
At first, they're so happy to have the jobs.
Yep.
Then after they get a bunch of jobs and they see Tommy Tint or me, and, we went and bought a car, or we bought a watch, or we bought whatever. Now they say, well, why in the hell don't I have that car? Why don't I have well, you didn't get the job, motherfucker. Yeah. I got the fucking job and subbed it to you. Otherwise, you'd be sitting home. But they don't look at it like that. Yep. Because they're getting these jobs and they're doing a good job, now they get that entitlement where they feel that they're entitled. Yes. And I'm not sexist, but 9 times out of 10, there's a woman in their ear saying to them,
very true.
Why is Tommy Tint getting paid this much?
Very, very, very
and
true.
you're not. Say you have a helper,
true.
And you're giving them $10 an hour, and all he's doing is basically bringing you the material to help you out. Yep. He's not doing much. Now he goes home to his girl, to his wife. And the wife says, after a while, because at first they're happy with the $10, $15 an hour, but now the wife sees, or the girlfriend, you're doing Aventadors, you're doing all this high-end shit, houses, yachts, whatever. And they say, well, why is Tommy? I mean, if it wasn't for you, Tommy wouldn't be where he's at. Yeah. But you're the one that put the guy on.
Very true.
And then it gets ugly.
Yeah,
so unless you have, and that's why I
like to work alone.
That's why I can understand the private business.
Yeah.
And I can understand why you're good because you don't have to deal with that shit. Because it happens every single time. Yeah, every business I've ever had, unless it was a percentage breakdown set in stone.
Very true.
Then it was okay.
Yeah.
But when you bring in subcontractors, every single fucking time it turned into a mess.
Every time. I'm right now, you know, I am the owner of Palm Beach Tint, and I love it. I'll always keep it going. But it's to build a reputation name for myself so that I can go and work for Expel window tinting or Expel.
But still have your private.
But still keep my private. And my objective of all of this is to build a career where, say, you know, Expel's a $1 billion company, just like Eastman.
What's it called? Expel?
Expel. They do window tint and they do paint protection on vehicles.
How do you spell that?
With an X. It's kind of weird there.
Like XPEL?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I'm just curious because somebody might want to look up what it is.
Expel,
you know what I mean?
is exactly how you spell it. There, you know, that man started really, really on the bottom, and it was a long haul for Expel to get where they are today.
Yeah.
But they're one of the leaders, and I mean, when I tell you leaders in our industry, he's a leader in our industry, and now he's venturing out. From what I'm hearing, you know, he's gonna open his own store. Yeah. He's gonna enterprise into an exotic world of vehicles, because these are all exotic vehicles that he is McLarens, P1s, Lamborghinis, that his coding is going on, let's just say. And Expel, when it comes to their PPF, their paint protection film, it is just as good, if not, honestly, between me and you, I'm an installer, better than Suntech. And Suntech has got Porsche of America, Lamborghini.
Yeah, I saw.
They haven't brought it out yet, but Lamborghini is thinking about using Suntech, and they're going to do it before they deliver the vehicles now.
So the Lambo will come with the protection on it.
Exactly.
And I remember you telling me that, because I had it before, and it would get brown.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah, you know,
Very
that's
true.
how it used to be. It would get brown.
Yes.
And I ripped it off.
Yes.
I ripped it off.
That was the adhesive failure, and that's where Suntech perfected it. See, the owner of Suntech used to own Lumar. Okay, he created Lumar, sold Lumar to Eastman, and then 2-3 years later, he created Suntech. And Suntech basically took all of Lumar's failures and made them better.
Yeah.
So his PPF, which is the paint protection film, Lumar didn't have that till Suntech came out with it with their super self-adhesive and self-healing paint protection, which means if I have someone comes by my car and like, oh yeah, look at this guy. Oh wow, he's made it, you know. Let's scratch his car real nonchalantly. So scratch it with your purse, honey. And you know, his girl comes by and puts a nice good old scratch on your hood with the purse. Or he tells his girl, sit on his hood. And she's got some belt buckle on and scratches your hood. Or she scratches the hood. Guess what? The next day, it's guaranteed to self-heal itself and not be there. Wow. Because if it isn't, Suntech will replace that panel.
But the problem I had with it was
the discoloring.
It would get brown. It would get dirty. And I ended up ripping it off. I probably had 5 cars with that shit on it. And as soon as I got it, I ripped it right the hell off.
Yep. And that's where Suntech perfected everything. But Expel came in.
And Porsche had the shit on it.
Yes.
And it was brown. It was not whatever you're talking about.
Yeah, not anymore.
Well,
now it's
more.
They're using nanotechnology for the adhesive, not to break down.
Okay, well, as of about a year ago, the shit that they had on it, on the body, that plastic thing that you're talking about to protect it, it got brown.
That came from the factory from Porsche, and they had to fix that. Yes, that is correct. That is different from the PPF film that is being placed on the car by Suntech.
So they're not dealing with Porsche.
They're Suntech is Porsche of America's #1 preferred film protection company, which is their paint
Okay,
protection
I
film
misunderstood. So
Yeah.
Porsche doesn't have them do it. They're
No.
just if you're going to get it done,
They'll recommend.
they recommend
Yes.
SunTech to get it done so that it doesn't
Exactly.
look like shit.
Exactly. It's just like right now, the deal Matt, I believe, has with McLaren. Where if you buy a McLaren here in Palm Beach County, it's going to have a PPF film, but it's going to be from Expel. So the paint protection film you'll receive on your McLaren will be from Expel company, not the SunTech company.
Okay.
So every paint protection company looks for a company or a car company they can put a niche on.
Right.
Right now, I can pick up, say Expel hires me as their main guy to oversee their window tint division and oversee their PPF division. I would only oversee their window tint division because I don't want to overextend myself. PPF division is something completely different.
Okay, I see.
Or they can hire me as their sales guy, and I'll go to Range Rover and close a deal or a contract with Range Rover that will only use Expel when they deliver their vehicles
I see.
to do the PPF.
Right. And you'll keep your private going.
I'll always keep the private going. Even if I, like you said, contract it out to the person I'm doing work with. Because, in this industry, it's who you know and how you treat that person you know.
So now, you have to get to you because of how big you are now.
Yes.
Yes. At this point
in my career, yes.
To get to you, you need a referral.
Yes, you do.
So somebody has to contact you and say, hey, Sal's good to go.
Yes.
And then you'll deal with them.
Good example.
Or maybe you talk to them on the phone and you feel comfortable and you see that they're not going to bitch and moan about, is it done tomorrow? Is it done in 5 minutes? Okay. So to get a hold of you, got to get a referral. It's Palm Beach Tint.
Palm Beach Tint.
And it's where's Palm Beach Tint at again?
Palm Beach Tint is located on Dixie Highway, 3300 South Dixie Highway here in Palm Beach.
So
West Palm Beach.
So they can Google that.
They can Google it. Yep,
I'll throw it up. And then if they want to get a hold of you, they can try to call.
You can try
and
to call me
maybe you'll
561. I'll give the number out.
Go ahead. What's the number?
561-502-8794.
Okay, 561
502-8794.
Okay, and that's your cell phone?
That is my direct cell phone line.
Okay.
If they care to, and when they see our interview and they care to ask for my services, they're more than welcome to call as long as they're patient and they understand that I am about a week out. So if you call me on a Friday, I'll probably be able to take care of it by the following Friday.
Yeah.
So and
they can ship their car in like they do other people and everything else.
Do that, or if their vehicle's here already, okay, and they plan on shipping the vehicle from the dealership, I can go directly to the dealership and ask them hand in hand to allow me to go in there because I have all the proper insurance to go into the dealer and do it there for the client if need be.
Okay, so they can call and then you make your own decision, or if they have a referral somehow, then they're in.
Yeah, or if they heard our your show, and they get a referral from your show, they're more than welcome to call me.
So you go from Madonna's breakdancer, which is insane,
it's nice,
to the Beastie Boys breakdancer,
which is fun.
You have Amanda.
Yes, Amanda.
Then you're doing odd jobs just to survive.
Yep.
Then you get the job with Elite Tint.
Yes.
Then you go to Eastman.
Yes.
A couple others in between. Build your reputation. Now you're crushing it.
Yes.
Now you go private. You're in the magazine.
Yep.
You're in the newspaper for yacht that you did for somebody over here in Palm Beach Island.
Exactly,
I mean, I looked up. I found 9 articles just in 20 minutes of looking and reading.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, and that's where you're at now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our daughter, basically, my daughter's 31 now, and she's building. She's got a good following now, and she's her rap name is Karma, so she's doing her own thing on YouTube and through the internet. She's she owns Focus Up Entertainment, and Focus Up Incorporated. Excuse me, not entertainment.
We'll put a link in the description for her.
Link in there, but she's coming out with some good music on iTunes, and she's got a good following.
Good for her, man.
Her name is Karma.
Bless her.
So she's doing really well. I'm really fortunate that I have a daughter that has done so well in her life, just like, my good cousin Adam.
Yeah.
God bless him. He's in the Marines now. He's been in there 18 years. Adam
Wow.
Ball.
Yeah.
He's a corporal gunner.
Yeah.
For the Marines. He's in Japan. Carolyn Hall, my other girl, they all grew up together.
That's great.
With us. We grew up, all of us together. My wife, Adam, Carolyn, my daughter Amanda, and mom. Daisy.
Yeah.
Daisy was my wife's grandmother. She was my mother. But Carolyn now is she's a big wig for Sports Authority, and she's now managing. I believe she's going to be doing a real nice restaurant. I don't want to say the name yet because I don't want to jinx it for her.
Yeah,
but she's going to manage
don't.
a very, very lucrative steakhouse.
Yeah.
So Carolyn, Amanda, and Adam built great careers. Even though I was a teen father and my wife was a teen mother, we were still good examples to these three young.
To work hard and
Exactly.
that equals success.
Exactly. Very true.
And before you get out of here, I know that your other hobby is coins.
I love coins, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to put the coins up, but
Yes.
so explain this one here.
Okay. This is
So
Kenny.
the first one here that is going to be up on the screen,
Yes.
we have 1964. Now, what is when it says 1964D?
Okay.
Why is I was looking it up.
Yeah.
Why is the D worth more than just the 1964?
Because the 1964 D was minted in Denver. And
Okay.
Denver, Colorado, and there's a U.S. mint in Denver, Colorado, and their coins are meant for circulation. Okay, in Denver, but the Philadelphia mint is also meant for circulation. But Denver, for some reason, makes the most phenomenal coins.
Yeah.
Their coins are so good, sometimes they look like they're coming out of a proof set, which a proof set is made in San Francisco. But due to the COVID-19, unfortunately, the San Francisco Mint is no longer in business. The United States government closed it.
Okay.
So now we only have the West Point in New York, West Point Mint in New York, the Philadelphia Mint in Philly, and the Denver Mint. So in 1964, the 64 Denver that's in this collection here is a double die obverse, and what that means is that the coin was stamped. It got stuck to the planchet, and then when it lifted up, it fell, and then stamped again on it. So it did a double stamp in its own little way. So it's a double die reverse.
Okay.
There's not too many 64 Denver minted Kennedys that are double die reverse, but the ones that are very valuable. This is an uncirculated one, and Denver doesn't make too many mistakes, so that's what makes this Denver
very
special. This one here.
Yeah, I don't want to get into too much because I want to bring
fine.
and
That's
do a
fine.
coin one.
Yes, we do. We
and,
do need
and,
to do that.
and that's like your coin collection.
I'll
But I
bring
just
some
want to
stuff
throw it up
in.
because I know now the one that you're missing in this
1970 Denver.
1970 Denver. So that's the one you need to complete
Yes,
this here.
Yes,
Okay.
that is a very nice. They only made a 1970 Kennedy in Denver. They didn't make it anywhere else but Denver, and that was the last year that the 40% Kennedy was made.
Okay.
64, they made a full 90% Kennedy like the 63 Benjamin. We'll get into that later on, but
Yeah.
the last year that they made a silver coin was in 1970, and that happened to be the 70 Denver, and that is the last year that we received a 40% coin in circulation, because you could still purchase them to this day,
Yeah.
but in circulation. That's what we call a coin that's for the masses. It was not for the collector. It was for literally just to send to the bank,
yeah.
and they'll hand them out all day.
Now the other one is this is the 70s all the way
Yes.
up to 83. We
86,
see some
88.
D's here. What's the P?
The P is the Philadelphia Mint.
Philadelphia
That is the
Mint.
Philly Mint. Yeah,
Cool.
whenever you find a $50 Kennedy that doesn't have any mint on it, doesn't have a P,
Yeah.
or doesn't have that doesn't have a D, let me say, or doesn't have an S, it is
Yeah.
considered a Philadelphia Mint.
Okay.
Because in Philadelphia they never put a P on any of their coins until the nickel. I shouldn't say any of their coins. I'm wrong by that. They never put a P on a half dollar in this time, in this era. I mean, now they do have a couple of 2014 Kennedys that were minted in Philadelphia, but that was in 2014. And now in 2020, because we had to shut down the West Point Mint and San Francisco Mint, there is a 2020 P Silver Eagle that was made in 2020. So that's a special Silver Eagle. That's another story.
Yeah, we'll go over also what people can understand. I just want to throw that out there because I know this is important to you.
Yep, the P.
And then, so I'm going to bring you back in again where we're going to do a video for coin collectors because I know there's a lot. You know what I mean? So we can, and then you can really break down everything. Bring some stuff in and explain it. This is just a little brief of, something they had in here. But, this is something you kind of got to explain and go through. And, it's a whole nother thing.
It is serious.
And we want to do one on the coins. Mm-hmm. And then what were you talking about when you came in here, just real quick?
Oh, yes. We were talking about my buddy Justin. He owns a manure hauling company.
Yeah,
and he hauls manure for horses in Wellington, Florida.
I know it sounds fucked up, but
and but it's a very lucrative business. Because no one wants to do it. But Justin ran into. He came across another gentleman during a business conference. But
you're saying that they're going to start making.
This is leading up to.
Yeah, but I want to have another video just on that. So I just want to get to the subject of what's coming up.
Okay, the subject that's coming up is going to be organic grass that is grown organically in a special type of machine that was made in Switzerland, so that you could feed your cattle, and your cattle's meat will be actually healthy for your body.
Okay.
It won't produce the cholesterols. I mean, this is all going to be documented through doctors and tests that they've been doing. But this actual grass is the future because it's something that you feed your cow. You could feed your sheep. You could feed your goat with it, your pigs, your horses. And it's healthy for the animal. And not only for the animal,
but for the person,
the person digesting that particular meat of that animal.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do one on the coins.
Yes.
And then we're going to do one on that because I think a lot of people will be interested in that. I'm really interested in that.
That would be a good show.
All right, Tommy.
I'll bring a lot of info for that show.
Yeah. Bring that one in, and because I think that will be big, and then the coins will be big for the coin collector.
Yep.
And then you put your number up if you want to give it one more time.
My number is 561-502-8794, and that's my cell phone line for Palm Beach Tint. And we also have 401-7512. That's the office number if you want to call that number.
561.
561 area code 561-401-7512. That is the main line. And then my cell phone is 561-502-8794.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, Tommy.
Thank
you very much for coming in, man.
All right.
And we'll do another one real soon.
All righty. Look forward to it.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right.